I wanted to finish up my 450 Pro videos just by going over the basics of how I set mine up and what I ended up with. Now, I've been flying this for a while now, so this setup works. It's not, I didn't go out of my way to do the, modify the tail or anything like that. People are complaining about the tail design and stuff, but it flies fine for me. I think if you're not an expert, if you're not like doing crazy 3D and stuff, I think the tail, the way it is just fine. The only thing that I did other than the stock stuff in the kit was I put on a BEC from Castle, and so that's worked out pretty well. That's just a safety thing I like to do. Keeps my receivers alive. I use Spectrum, so I want to make sure that my receiver stays turned on. They need electricity to operate, so I give them a good power supply with the BEC. One thing I noticed in this build is the motor is kind of tricky to get on. The screws that hold in the motor are up top, and you can't even see them. You can't see them in there because the servos are in. I recommend putting your motor in first before you do your servos, and set up, put your gears in, everything in, and set up your gear mesh, and then put in your servos after that. Otherwise, you'll never be able to get the motor tightened down. You'll have to take the servos out. As I said, I did put a BEC on this one. I just strapped it right there to the side. And I put my ESC inside. So the ESC is stuck inside there, and then there's the motor wires that come out of it, and the motor wires travel that way. So the ESC, the battery part is on this end, and the motor part is up here. Wiring up the rest of it was pretty straightforward. You just go around like that. The servo wires for the front servos, they both go down here around this. They're tied, not too tight, but they're zip tied here. And I put a little bit of tape over the servo wires, and then I put the zip tie over that, and then I zip tied it down there as well, so it runs back through there and then up into the receiver, which is up in here. So the receiver, I used an AR600, and I stuck it inside, and there's one side coming out that way, and then the other antenna comes out this way, so that it's 90 degrees to this one. You can kind of see the receiver in there. So now that's worked out pretty good so far for me. I don't fly super hard, but this has worked out good. I really like the 450 Pro. It flies smoother than my old T-Rex did, and I really like that. So yeah, that's how it works, how I put it together. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, because I know it's really hard to see stuff on here. But yeah, that's the, that is actually the ESC wire and the BEC wire going on that side, and the two servo wires go on the other side. There's nothing else really to describe about it. I did shorten the gyro wires. That's kind of handy to do that. Shorten the gyro wire, and I left the think I left the wire on the tail normal length, but I don't know, I might have shortened it a little bit. If you have a bunch of slack up here, you know, you could shorten the wires. So yeah, that's my 450 Pro. Nothing really special about it. I didn't do any crazy mods or anything. I did put the BAC on there. I did use the AR600 receiver. I like that receiver. It works great. Nothing else really special about it. Just all the stock stuff. It flies great. Flies really smooth. I really like it. It could maybe use a little bit more power, but we're up here in Colorado, so it might just be, I think maybe it's just that. But it is snappy. It does have plenty of power to get you through TikToks and rainbows and stuff. So no problems there. Oh yeah, remember to put your motor in first. Do your gears and put your motor and everything in first, then do your servos. That was a little tricky. Other than that, nothing special to really watch out for. Just route your wires carefully down around the bottom near the motor there, and then up to the receiver, and I think you should be good.